Welcome to George Coll Fine Art. Here, the viewer is encouraged to get outside and paint from life. George's job is to provide the tools to solve the many technical challenges faced in rendering landscape paintings. View the library of landscape paintings offered and become a subscriber. You can also purchase tutorial videos, plus original tutorial and studio paintings. Thank you. And if you like what you see, click the subscribe button and join in on the fun.
Hello, welcome to part 3 of Monticello. I'm George Coll, and this is part 3 of a 3-part series. Those of you who have been following me since COVID, I've been doing beginner type paintings, 3-part series, 30 minutes apiece. These are going to be 45 minutes apiece, and so I'm transitioning you all to more intermediate and advanced painting, so congratulations. So I go a little slower and go a little bit more step by step. So the other thing is, any of you who are in Longmont or Berthoud or Fort Collins, Greeley, you're welcome to come to my in-studio class. So it's more for intermediates and beyond. So if you're inclined to do that, give me a call or contact me through text through my website. You can find out that information, and we'll get you set up. All right, so get outside and paint. Paint with your friends. Get critiques, and don't be intimidated by a white canvas. All right, let's get started on part 3. Hello and welcome to part 3 of Monticello. So, where are we on this thing? Oh man, I got a critique yesterday, and this color, I've been working on trying to get this in front of that, make it stand in front. And to do that, I need some richer colors, stronger colors, but not too much because I want to keep this a tonal painting. So that's been my challenge in this painting. But you can see this color here is too close to this value here, and it's not showing up where I need a little bit more edge on this. So I'll be working on that. And my shadow color, as you know, I reduced the size of it. It's still not right. And my base color down here for the ground is too pinky or gray or something. I don't know what I was thinking. But I'm going to make a new mixture for that. And I think my junipers are saying warm color, you know, because I've got some yellow mixed into the green. And my sky sucks. I have to work on that and get some sort of interest thing going on in there. And I think I'm going to put something to do with clouds in there. Not too much, but a little bit of cloud. But I want to keep the sky subdued. I don't want it to be, really too strong. I need to get one more glove on, because having 2 gloves really kind of helps, particularly with oil paints, which have a lot of poison in them. So it's not good to have that stuff soaking into your skin. All right, enough lecturing. Again, I'm on a minimum palette. Ultra blue, alizarin, cad red light, cad yellow light, transparent oxide red or burnt sienna, white, titanium white, some slop left over from part 2, and I think we are ready to go. So where to start first? I think the biggest challenge for me is going to be right here. All right, in part 2 I introduced that I'm using a medium, which is 4 parts Gamsol, 1 part Venar varnish, and 1 part stand oil. So that's going to be my medium, and this is my Gamsol here. So I'll clean my brush here and dry it, and then dip it into here, in which I dip my brush into the paint and make it thin or thick, whatever I may think is appropriate. And what I'm doing now is scraping off some stuff that is a little too strong, and we'll get started here with a mixing. So let's get into here and first of all make an orange. So cad red light, cad yellow light, cad yellow light, cad yellow light, pretty strong orange, beautiful orange. And now I'm going to add some white, more white. You can see I made two pure piles of white. One will be a little sloppy, and I'll keep this virgin color as pure as I can, as long as I can. Okay, so I've got some nice orangey, yellowy stuff here. Add a little bit more red. And that'll be a nice pile to have during this painting. I want to have a side of it a little bit more red, so I'm going to add some alizarin. Take some, and there's a little bit more red. And if there's anything that you're picking up during my God knows how many of these videos I've done, is I really try to do pretty pure mixtures. I spend a lot, probably as much time mixing as I do, painting on my painting here. I notice my students overuse a color. They're always trying to get more color out of their brush that actually exists. So I encourage you to, once you got the paint off your brush, reload, Not a big deal. I'm going to tone part of this down. Nice flesh color. Be nice for portrait. And I'm going to do the same over here. And I'm going to go with a number 3 round. Bristlon, Silver Bristlon is my brand. I get it from Jerry's. We are lucky to have a local Jerry's in Fort Collins, which is close to where I live in Loveland. Okay, so I'm going to go with a stronger red right here and see what that does to say, hey, I'm different from what's back in here. Going to get a little bit of medium on it. And now I'm going to bring in a little bit of purple. So I'm going to go blue, alizarin, slop white. I know I'm mixing with my brush. I should not do that. Do what I say, not what I do, okay? All right, let me get some medium in here. And I just need a little bit of really, really thin purple in here. Just added a little medium in this lighter part. And we're going to bring a little bit darker seam in here. It's a little too dark. Too dark. Go back to the light. And we'll go back with the orange. And some of these seams have a light color to it, so I'm going to mix some white with my dirty brush and put that under here. And work into it some orange and some yellow. Just a little bit. little stronger with the value color. I'm going to stand back and see if that edge pops out just a little bit more. And it does, thank goodness. Whew. Okay, we're home free. Let's make a little bit of a rust color before we leave that hill. So I'm mixing some transparent oxide red into the side of this orange. And we're going to get some of this nice color going in here. And a little bit stronger. And I'll put some, I think, up in here. Okay, I don't want to overdo it and overemphasize this thing and say, hey, this is not a tonal painting. But I don't know if I like this I put in the other day. So let me go back with a milder color. I think we have some red in here. A little touch of red. Let me see if I'm in the neighborhood. And let's move this over just a little bit. And make this a little lighter than what I had. And I think that helps. Oh yeah, okay. Let me get a little bit more light back in here and here, but not on the edge to give it away. All right, what to do next? Shall we tackle the shadow color? Okay, let's do that. Okay, these are great colors, but let's move them somewhere. Here and here. And I'll save some of the purple here. I will get rid of the rest. Having control of your palette, at least for people like me, is very important. One of my longtime students, Rebecca Hill, has the smallest mixing area I've ever seen on her little. She comes into class with, instead of a glass palette, it's a little mixing palette from a Gorilla box. And she uses that, and she uses it very effectively. And I think I'm going to use some of that into here, kill the orange or the rust color just a little bit, because I don't want to say too much. All right, I have some purple over here. I'm going to add some ultra blue to it. And whack it in there. So I'm still using my number 3 round. You know, these rounds are pretty good. You can do a lot with them. They can hold a lot of paint. They have a nice point on the end. Ooh, that's nice. So shadows in front should be a little darker, like here, and a little lighter as they go back. All right, anywhere else you might want to do some shadow, this is the time to do it. And you can see this is a little bit more time for detail. And if you overdo it, just go back into your orange and knock some of it down. Let me knock down some of that orange. It's a little too strong in that particular mixture. Okay. I should have kept some of my red mixture. All right, so let's go over here and lighten this up a little. And use some of that right here. And run some of the orange color up into it. Now what I see here is caught my eye. When I came back, you get a fresh look at your painting. You go, man, I thought I had that, but it's just too dull. It was a light gray, and then I had over a green I had in there. So let's warm that up a little bit. So let's go back to our yellow. Get some of this dirty white I had in there. And I'm mixing this right next to my purple because I'm going to use that as my deadener. And I'm liking this kind of dull yellow mixture I have. I'm cleaning my brush and I'm going to give it a try. If it's too bright, I'll bring some more of the purple into it. Let me try it up here and see if it's a little too bright. It's great for up in here. But let's bring a little bit more gray in. So this is more of a wash. It's very thin. I've got a lot of my medium in it. So it has Damar varnish in it, has stand oil, and a lot of Gamsol. So I'm taking my time. I've got a lot of control with this number 3. You know, it's got a point on it. It's got I like to paint on the edge of my brushes. I'm not so much right here. I'm really using the side of my brush here. And it's surprising how much paint these little brushes, these little rounds can hold if you twist them. And as I go up, I want to get a little brighter because of the angle of the mountain is pointing more toward the sun. Because the sun is over to the right. You can tell that by the shadows. Let me see if this yellow is really doing the trick. Looking pretty good. I think I'm losing some design here. I might need to put in a few more bushes sometime. I'll try to do that today. I think we're also going to have a part 4 to this series. And you know, we're using a lot of different techniques, so we're taking our time and working on a bigger canvas also. So let's go to this brighter stuff here. So I'm going up to the more rich color that has less Gamsol, or I mean less medium in it, and we're using that. I'm going to flatten it also, and that has a nice effect there. Because I kind of want the eye to go in there. That's my kind of Fibonacci point. Maybe one of these days we can talk about this Fibonacci stuff. But let's go back into our mixture, get a little bit again of our medium, and let's get some of this in here. And that's pretty cool. But there's too much strong transition from the yellow to this new color here. So I'm going to go back into the thinner mixture that I've been putting on in this area and apply more of it up in here. And that helps show the difference too of what's in front and what's in back. That is a nicer transition. Pays to get back. A little bit more yellow in appropriate places. And this is very thin. It's a thin wash. These are a little bit too parallel, these I'm noticing now, my junipers. So I gotta have a guy going through and breaking that up, a line of junipers. So I will do that either in this part 3 or part 4. Because I want to get into this area up in here. And that's important. Let's get to, I'm gonna do one, this shadow color is a little too strong. Let me knock him down just a little bit too. There we go. So we're going to go to the sky. I'm going to clean my brush real good and concentrate on sky. Okay, these are my mixtures I'm going to keep handy. And clean my palette, go to sky. Now, since I have some dirty white here, let's see if we can mix it together and see if it isn't too bad that we can use for the sky. It's got some pink in it, you see. So let's make some green with some ultra blue. I forgot my cerulean down it. And some cad yellow light. Make a nice dark green. And a little bit of green can knock it down to more of a gray. And this might be useful in our clouds. Let's see what this does up in here. Not too bad. So let's just get some up on, keep it over above the kind of areas of interest. Boy, that sure makes a difference, doesn't it? Yeah, that does accent the shadow area, doesn't it? All right, so let's go now in with a flat brush. This is a number 4 Bristlone. I'm going to get it into my medium. Slop it up, and let's see what this does. I'm going back into our mixture. I need a little bit of green for the red to knock it down. I need a little bit of medium. And let me get back and look at my design to see how that is working. Sure brightens up everything, doesn't it? That purple right there is too strong. I just noticed it. You know, when you put in a white, strong background, it may accent something you didn't want accented too much. And we might as well try to take something off the top. We'll bring it in here off the top. All right, so this stage of cloud making, I'm getting the design. So I'm running something off the top, I'm running something kind of horizontal. Because, you know, in the past, that kind of stuff helps me think about it's a way to go. But I still have this big area here, which needs a little something. This will be the major chord, this will be the minor chord over here, and we'll bring him just little guys coming off somewhere in here to make the statement that we're clouds. Now, as you can see, I put it in so thin that some of the blue is coming through, and that's what I like. I like that kind of stuff. So now let's make a little bit of red, a little bit of green, to make it gray. Get some cerulean out too. I'm going to need some of that. Okay. We're going to add a little bit of cerulean to the red. More red. Man, that red is strong. Blow that up. Let's go back to the green. Green. Cerulean. And let's see how this gray thing is working. So it's a little bit more on the pink side, so let's get a little bit more blue, red, green. And let's check the value color to see if it's too strong or too light. Throw in just a touch of yellow for the reflection. A lot of yellow. Okay, let's see what this does. See how subtle it is. I know you're on a camera, but just a little, you can see it's not much, but that says so much. It's needed. You know, who wants just white bluey clouds? So I'm going to bring some of this right down to the surface of the mountain. And I'll have some over in here too. As it goes back, I'll put a lot down in here. And a little here and here. and here. All right, let's go back now, and the sky's a little dull. I want to brighten it up just a little bit, and let's see what happens if I throw some cerulean. It's a little too strong. Uh-oh. My faithful dog is at the door. Excuse me, I have to see what her problem is. Go home. Go home. She wants me to take her for a walk, and I've already walked her this morning on the backbone trail behind my studio. Really lucky, we have 16 miles of trail right back there. So I'm dipping into my medium. I've really mixed this thoroughly, but I've left some of the strong stuff on one side. And let's see what this does. Nice, okay. Just gives a little bit more dull blue color. I need a little bit more medium. I don't want to overdo the medium. You can also break up a cloud or squeeze it a little bit if need be. And as I go up, I'll get a little darker, just a little. See, I'm going into the stronger stuff and putting that in up on top. And over here and here. And that's pretty bold, so I have to calm it down with my flat brush. So let's start doing the toning down. And then we'll flatten it here a little bit with my handy dandy palette knife. Now I do need to put some more white in, and really from my pure pile, and lighten up some of these clouds. Not too much, but just right. Okay, so here I am. You can see how that blends things together. And it says, I'm a softer cloud. And it softens the edges of the cloud too. It's looking pretty good. Yes. Okay, back to a pure white. So let's clear my brush. Blue. Clean it in the Amsol. And let's just get some pure stuff and see what it does. That's the pure white. Use it very cautiously, like right in here. And here. Look at the angle of my brush. See how, I mean, my side of my hand's almost touching the canvas. As you know, and I've told you, I kind of use the side of my brush quite a bit. Okay, I need some white over here and here. So what we might be doing in part 4 to finish this painting, I hope to finish it in part 4, is to soften these edges. See how strong that edge is back there? I want to soften that. And because it's going to help I'm going to go back with a little bit of this red stuff right in here. And I'm going to come down onto those darks just so I can kill them a little bit because they're too strong. The value is too strong. I think I probably should use some of these lights here and here. And you can just, sometimes, I think for the round brush it's a little easier is to run some whites through here, just little wispy clouds here and there. And I think one more thing to do is bring some of the blue down. So I'm going to pick some up and go right in there and then finish it off with my flat. And break up some of these big things of cloud. Because I'm thinking, what do I want to say? I need to say it in a few things, and I'm going to soften this edge too a little bit. Whew, man, I better check my time to see how I'm doing. But the clouds, I think, have really done some success here to help bring about this painting. This needs a little bit of white right here. Let me go back with my blue and fill in my spaces that are not quite done, like over in here. Still have some of that undercolor peeking through. And I'll bring the blue down to the base of the far back mountain here. And continue trying to strengthen and soften the transition between the lighter blue and the darker blue. So I didn't overstate them like big darks on the bottom. These really wispy, far back type clouds. All right, how's it in my time? Okay, we got 7 or 8 minutes here. And it's time to take a sip of your coffee or sipping water today and figure out where to go next. And I can see right away this guy is just way too strong. So I'm going to see what I can do about softening him and blending him back into the background. First of all, I'll just try with a flat brush to see what's ever still wet in this paint and blend it all together. And I'm going to bring a little bit of the white down, just go into the white, bring it down. Just tap a little bit of white on here and bring it down. Okay, so this is a lesson on how to take something a little bit farther back. So to do that, we're going to need some of this pinky color here. So we have some mixed up for the sky, so I'm going to add a little bit more alizarin to it. And I'm going to clean my brush, get a new paper towel because that paper towel is contaminated pretty good, and get into my red. I'm using the Gamsol to thin it and kill some of that yellow. It's a little too strong. So I need some red in that thing. Boy, but that sure helped, didn't it? It really did knock it down. Okay. Let's consider ourselves lucky and just leave that for now. But I, of course, will push the edge here. I got some red and some blue. And I'm going to put a little bit of red in the bottom. Just a little bit. Now up here, there's a bit of a light mixture. It's in the pink neighborhood, but it's lighter. And I'm going to go to a round brush to get that in. And I know there's vegetation on top, but I don't know if I want to push that back there. I will weigh that as I go forward. And I'll go back to a number 3, round. And I'm adding a little white to the mixture. I'm gooping it up on all sides. I'm taking off the excess on my rag. And I'm going to bring some of that to the upper part. And I'm going to bring some of that down here. I'm going into the stronger part and say, hey, there's some reds coming down. Need a little bit more alizarin. Oh man, is that strong! Gray that down a little. Oh man, see how useful a slop pile is in white? So don't throw that stuff away, it can come in handy. Okay, a little bit more Gamsol, let's see what this does. And in here we'll do one. A little stronger right in here. Oh, that didn't work right. Nope, got to go back with some lighter, warmer stuff. So I'm doing a lighter yellow mixture. Gamsol. Let's see if this has got enough orange in it. I need a little orange, thank you. Thank you. All right. Those little things can really, really help. So I'm going to add a little bit more red into. Got too much blue peeking through here. Right. Okay, we're coming to my time, so I'm going to sign off here and say thank you so much for coming by for part 2. And we did a lot of little things that really helped this painting. I think the most of it was this yellowy color here and this very nice wispy sky. So that's really helped with this. So I'm going to give it a day, come back and see how we can, I have a design problem I have to fix with, these are too parallel. And I'll fix that plus soften edges, I think is the plan for part 4. And then we will call this done and sign it. All right. Thank you so much for coming by, and I'll see you in part 4.